it's dirt. It's not something that's paved or hard. The water will seep into the groundwater, and then it goes into the underground aquifers and then gets recycled into our water chain. But now we are building everywhere, right? So now we're getting the same amount of rainfall, but it has less place to go. So when you have a site that's over 1 acre, you have to do what's called a stormwater pollution prevention plan. And what you do with that is you have to basically explain how you're gonna keep stormwater from being polluted. Because when you have a built area, you create a lot of runoff, so then you're getting a lot of dirt and things into the water system. So by minimizing that, you don't want to stop building, right? Because we need buildings too. But there's ways that you can change the landscape or do things on the exterior of your buildings to help reduce that. Some of the things your teacher just said, like a rain barrel. You can take all of your downspouts. Downspouts do one of two things. They will either tie into an underground storm water system, or they daylight on the ground, which is when you see like the downspout come and they hit a splash block and you can see the water come out. Capture that water. And then that water can be sophisticated or not sophisticated. So if it's sophisticated, then maybe there's piping and it runs back into a tank where you can reuse that water in your building for like flushing of toilets and things like that, like not drinking water. Or maybe it just has like a little spigot on the side and you can use it to water plants, you know, fill up your water jug and water your plants. And some of the pictures that you saw here, like those are called, this is permeable pavement. It can be done in one of two ways, because remember I said that you can have area in between something that's not porous, so that water, when it comes over here, it can seep in all the green areas. But they also make pavers that are porous themselves. Like if you would look at them very closely, you could see that they have some voids in them. They're not as compact as what like a brick or a concrete masonry unit would be. So that's something that you can do. You can also design your landscape. If you ever see like a real hilly area, instead of just having a straight slope, which will cause a quick runoff and which causes mudslides, it'll be rippled, and that slows the water down. You will also find on areas of slope sites, if they're just dirt, it washes it away. So you want to be able to plant grass, because grass really helps with erosion, and it also helps clean stormwater as it would get to the final destination. There are areas that you can use, like what we call native plants, which means they are originated from here, so they can grow without any human interaction, so you don't need to water them. So you want to put plants that are indigenous to this region, so that you can plant them. Now maybe for the first year, you know, until they get their roots, you'd have to water them, but then after that you wouldn't. So you want to take a look at like landscaping, and that helps minimize the amount of water you need. So then you can use that if you're storing your stormwater. You can use that for other things. There is things that you might not really consider stormwater, but they really go in, they kind of work hand in hand with it, like parking. Like you want to minimize your amount of parking areas, because that's what's gonna create more stormwater runoff, because you have more paved area. Smaller footprints of buildings. Instead of building a 1-story, maybe it's better to go 2 stories, because then you're taking up less footprint. A parking garage versus a surface lot. Maybe it's an underground parking garage, it has a garden on the top. Another thing is green roofs. Green roofs do a lot of things. They do some things that aren't as green, because they're very heavy, so you need more structure in your building to support a green roof. But they allow you to have plants up on the roof, and green roof doesn't necessarily mean it has to be plants. You can have a paving system, a walk track. But it allows you to be able to kind of store that water on there. And because you have dirt, and I'm still going to say greenery, because you're going to have some part of it's probably going to be green on your roof, it lowers your heat island, which makes your building stay cooler. It also allows you to insulate your building a lot better. So even if it's in a warm climate, it's still gonna add a lot of insulation to the building, because it depends on what you have up there. If you have just like what are called sedums, or just like little plants, you need about 3 to 4 inches of soil. If you have like smaller plants or small bushes, you need about like 6 to 12 inches of soil, and if you have a tree, you could have like 2 feet of soil. So it just depends on what you're growing to what you're gonna be able to plant there as far as the depth of the dirt. Yes?
I have a question regarding the LEED certification.
Okay.
You said it was very expensive
It is.
to get that.
Mhm.
Why would someone want it then? Why
Because-
not put your money, you said some places don't go for the LEED certification because they'd rather put their money in the things that will save them money. It's like,
So-
why get it?
There used to be a tax credit, where you would get a tax credit if you were at least a LEED silver. Some people just like to say it. It's a marketing ploy, like, hey, our building is LEED silver or LEED platinum, or, like I said, it's not
Status,
as
almost.
big of a
Yeah.
thing now, because people are like, well, that's just really like a big waste of money. We're still getting the same benefits, but now we've paid all this money in administration. But yeah, a lot of people, is like a status thing, like, oh, we have a LEED platinum building.
Gotcha.
Just put the plaque on the front. Okay.